Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome back to Marvel Mania. Today we're watching a movie that neither of us have seen before.
I'm going to say the majority of everyone has never seen before.
Today we're watching 2005's Man-Thing, the third and final movie, as far as I'm aware, in this series of awkward films that we felt the need to put in this lineup because they were meant to be put in the theater, but they didn't wind up there.
Yeah, and this was the one that we really had like a debate about, because as far as I knew, it was a sci-fi original film.
Yeah.
And
it turns out it wasn't. It was originally meant for theaters.
And some people brought up in the comments, like, well, it was meant for theaters, and so we looked into it, and it does seem like it was meant for theaters.
It's still a little... I'm on the fence about whether or not, because all we really have is Wikipedia. I'm not finding a lot of other information.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little tough to tell if during the production it was meant for theater, or if sometime while it was being made it had already been decided, oh, this isn't working out real well. It seems like Marvel hired these people to make this movie, and halfway through were like, oh wait, you're doing what with it now? And they weren't happy with it, and that's why it didn't end up going to theater. So anyway, this is another one of those, and I think it's another one where there are a couple of countries where it did go to the theater. I think I read that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with a lot of these. A lot of the pilot movies went to theaters in other countries as well. Like the two Captain America ones, those are theatrical releases in other countries.
That's hysterical.
The Hulk pilot and the second episode went to... And the Hulk Return movies all went to theaters in other countries.
Wow.
Yep.
That's fast. I wonder if those pilots were, if people knew they were pilots when they saw them.
I don't know. But this is a thing, it's not just with, like, superheroes. Like, the Buck Rogers pilot was shown as a film in England. And things like that. Like, this is a thing we just used to do, apparently, where we just take American pilots, probably add in some cut scenes, and call them a movie in other countries.
Huh. So this is, as I said, the only movie in the series that the both of us haven't seen. This is going to be a blind commentary, not a literal blind commentary. We thought that would be a real bad idea.
Yeah.
We're going to actually watch this movie, and it will be the traditional definition.
This one will probably have the most dead air, because we'll actually be watching a film that neither of us have seen.
We'll see. We'll have as much fun with it as we can. Hopefully it will be like Transmorphers.
Yeah.
Hopefully the movie will be
true.
like
That's true. We've done fun. We have done
this before,
yeah.
And Steve and I have been doing this with the Sharknado films.
Yeah.
Well, now that Steve's back, we got to do the fourth one. I forgot all about that. Anyway, so blind commentary today on Marvel Mania. Today's show is brought to you by Leftover Pizza. Leftover Pizza, the breakfast of champions. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into it.
Well, hold on. I want to plug something for a second.
Sure, absolutely. Feel free.
Captain Logan gets sausage and pineapple on his pizza, which is a combination I've never seen before, but it's very delicious.
It's absolutely delicious. I'm glad I got somebody else on that.
Yeah.
Because usually when I tell people about it, they're like, that sounds disgusting. I'm like, try it. They're like, no.
It really works. It works really well together.
And now that you've done it, you'll never go back to ham.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
So anyway, get out your DVD or Blu-ray if you purchased this film or however you want to watch it. We had to rent it on Amazon Prime because right now I don't have this on DVD. I'm going to have to get a copy at some point. I'm going to feel real weird about paying for this twice, but I had to spend $4 on Amazon just so we could watch it because I could not. Yeah, I'm not complaining about the price. It's just hilarious that it's probably about what it'll cost when I
I'm
actually
complaining
buy
about
it.
the price.
That's probably about what it'll cost when I actually purchase it.
This is a Siffy movie. Like, this should be 99 cents to stream.
But it's not, and I drove around everywhere today trying to find a copy of it, and I could not get my hands on one early because we, last video, announced Fantastic Four, and because we were looking at, this is the one movie not on that list, and that's on Wikipedia of films based on Marvel movies, and so we just forgot where it landed, and somebody reminded me about it today, and so I was like, oh wait, this is the next one we have to do. So we're getting the order right, but I had to, I don't actually physically have a copy. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to eat pizza, and we're going to watch and comment on, as we're seeing it for the very first time, Man-Thing. Here we go. Everybody, please press play if you're going to watch it with us right now.
Lionsgate. The mark of quality. Remember when Lionsgate was a big thing?
You've never seen a Lionsgate film you didn't like.
like Punisher Warzone. I think they made the... oh, they've got the actual Marvel logo.
Got the Marvel logo.
I think Lionsgate made the Saw films, and I'm not a fan of those.
Do you know anything at all about Man-Thing?
I know two things about Man-Thing. The first thing I know about Man-Thing is that that's where Howard the Duck comes from. Steve Gerber was writing on that book, introduces the character Howard. He's so popular that he spins off into his own book. He was so popular that he died in Man-Thing, and people mailed to Marvel dead carcasses with notes that... dead carcasses of ducks that had notes that said, like duck murderer, or you murdered this duck. The other thing I know is that...
That's great.
I forget who creates Man-Thing. I don't know if it's actually Steve Gerber, but whoever creates Man-Thing is a college roommate with Len Wein, and Len Wein is the creator of Swamp Thing. People are always like, is one of them rip off the other? I think it was one of those things where, like, both these guys hung out and like they had similar interests, and they just kind of...
Interesting. Wow, this immediately looks like the Sci-Fi Channel original movie, just as you say. We're not even trying to make this not look like a set. I mean, maybe this is shot outside, but... like, it's hard to get sucked in right away. It looks like you're looking at a movie.
Oh, there's a third thing I know about Man-Thing.
What's that?
His wife in the comics, who turns out to be an agent of AIM, is in Iron Man 3. So this might be canonical.
Ah. Okay. The one thing I know about Man-Thing is that R.L. Stine is writing a Man-Thing this year. Comes out in November, I think? That's already available for pre-order on Amazon. Isn't that crazy? Tainted Love! This has got to be the 56th cover of Tainted Love I've heard. And it's like a teeny bopper cover. Tainted Love. Oh. Tainted Love. That's just wrong.
Weird. That's not exactly how people's move. Like, she popped up like we do in like a sex scene shot where like the girl like, but then he stood up. Like, was there a conversation? Like, were they rolling around like making out and was like, all right, I'm gonna stand up and then you stand up and then we'll both keep kissing.
And if this was a rated R horror film and wasn't a thing that they were thinking maybe would end up on TV, she would be topless already, right?
Absolutely.
Not to be crass, but she would not be wearing a shirt. And the way she popped up, right in front of the camera, no, she would not be wearing a shirt.
That's a shot we do in horror movies all the time.
Yeah, making a big eye candy thing. But she's gonna die, right? There's no way she gets out of the scene alive.
They probably both
unless
die.
She's the girl of the movie. She could be the horror girl.
I don't think so. This seems like a setup. You know, where kill. We'll probably have characters that come in and talk about, like, oh, didn't you hear, like, a couple of months ago, this girl got killed in these swamps.
Yeah, we're not even spending any time on her face or anything, so she's not gonna be like the protagonist of the movie or anything.
Or we just didn't get coverage.
Yeah, or it's just really poorly made. It's kind of a cool shot.
This is something I've never understood.
Oh, she did take her shirt off. Okay,
nudity.
never mind. I didn't expect nudity in this.
No,
this is the shot I would have thought you were going to open this with. Huh.
This is the thing I've never understood.
That is almost
movies.
Certainly a faked Southern accent. There's no way that's her real accent.
This is the thing I don't understand in horror movies. This, like, sex in, like, really weird places. Like, I know, like, some people have, like, that like, rush of, like, you know, somewhere kind of in public. I get that that's a thing, but, like, they went into a swamp, got into, like, a musty old boat.
That just seems impractical to me. This seems like a really bad idea. Splinters, if nothing else.
Mold.
Yeah.
Was he the Man-Thing? Oh, no.
Yeah, for a minute I thought he was going to be a monster.
Okay,
So it's one of these movies. Okay. All right.
Man-Thing is Guardian of the Nexus, and
That's the fourth thing you know about Man-Thing.
he burns
So I knew you were gonna do
people.
this. I knew you were gonna be like, I know 3 things, and in this whole movie, you were gonna you would find things where like that's not true to the comics.
Well, he's the Guardian of the
I
Nexus.
didn't know he was the Guardian of the Nexus.
Which is located in a swamp,
Uh-huh.
and he judges people's souls, and he burns them with the Mark of the Man-Thing.
Well, I wish he would explain the Nexus to me, because I've seen Star Trek Generations, and I still don't understand that thing.
I didn't say I understood anything about it. I just know that Man-Thing is the Guardian of
He
it.
needs to explain the Nexus to me.
But he's not a monster. Like, he's not a bad guy.
So
He's not a killer of teenagers, unless...
So we just took the name and possibly the look of it and made it a really generic monster in the forest kind of horror film, or monster in the woods. Yeah.
Unless those 2 kids were also, like, murderers or something.
Because it's right next to some water. Oh my god.
By the water and freedom.
How is that a question you ask?
I said freedom.
It'd be like, if you went to a place, let's go Oak Creek. You see all these trees
No,
made of oak?
I will say, while this looks like a sci-fi film, it does not look like an asylum film. Like,
That's true.
This
That's
looks
true.
at least on quality with, like, a pilot from sci-fi.
It doesn't look like somebody made it in their basement.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they made it in a, like, producer's basement.
Well, and Canada. There was no chance this wasn't shot in Canada.
I agree. Oh, so everyone's faking really bad Southern accents in this, then. Where are we? Do we ever establish setting?
I don't think so.
It's Florida, right?
We're in the bayous of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. We're in the bayous of Vancouver. You've already established them.
There's a
Look at that rooster.
there's a role-playing game my friends and I played once where we were all cops and stuff in Chicago during the like 20s. One of my friends was an old man in a house in a swamp, and like none of us realized that he thought he was literally in a swamp, and so like we went to his house, and he's like, yeah, I got gators all around my house. We're like, oh wait, you think you're in a swamp in the bayous of Chicago?
That's great. So this guy, is our main character. He's the monster hunter guy.
He's the Twin Peaks guy, right?
Yeah.
As I recall, this is how Twin Peaks opens. Well, without the nudity and the monster and more atmosphere.
Other than that, though, it's just like Twin Peaks. Honestly, this should be on Netflix. You know, I didn't check to see if it was on Netflix before we paid for it. I don't think it is, but...
So he said Renee LaRocque? I don't know if that name, LaRocque, sounds familiar to me.
So far, this is kind of what I expected. It's a generic monster movie. We really should be just kind of jumping straight into things. Like, we've all been here and done this 6 billion times. If this guy isn't fascinating, I don't need these scenes, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
We picked a great movie to eat pizza with.
It could be worse. We could be eating salad. He's got plants all over him.
Oh. Does that make it gross? Where you're like, oh my god, I'm eating what's on this guy? That's so gross. I'm thinking more blood and tomato sauce myself, but okay.
You're more affected by that than I am.
Oh,
I
yes.
watch a movie and keep eating.
Absolutely.
And
I get that from
that.
I get that from my dad a little bit. my dad was always really quick before we would sit down to watch something that one of us had seen that he never had.
Mm-hmm.
If we were going to eat dinner while watching it, to say, is this something I'm going to want to eat dinner with while I'm watching it?
Yeah, Dad, 7's totally fun to eat, too.
And I do have a pretty weak stomach, certainly.
If you're lucky, you might could see him hurl watching this movie.
And now, hot pepper. It's unusually spicy for those.
That was weird.
I wasn't watching.
He went to go do like the to kind of open,
Mm-hmm.
and like the music like stung like it was a big like something was
Look,
about
it's
to
the
happen.
oil. Look, it's Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic 2.
And then nothing happened. We just got. Like I thought, like his chest was gonna open up and like something was gonna get him.
But we had like the big scary horror sound, like something just happened, but they didn't. Nothing happened. So was it supposed to be like it cuts and we missed what happened, or did nothing happen?
I don't know. This is a thing with low budget films. I've found lower budget films, probably films around this area of like quality. We want to try and be topical, like that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
The Crow Wicked Prayer's like that.
What are they trying to do here to make it topical? What are you saying?
Something with oil, I assume.
Something.
I assume they're protesters, and
I assumed that's what we would do with this. Okay, so they're protesting.
employees.
That was excellent line delivery. Well done.
Who gave that man a megaphone?
Put that in a script.
Do you notice
Go
the
F a
subtlety
tree.
of their corporate symbol? Wait till we get another shot with the corporate symbol.
Okay.
It's there on the top on the thing, and I think they also have it on their patches.
Okay.
It's real
I
subtle.
wasn't looking real close at him.
All right, it's gonna be on this. Nope. I was gonna say it's gonna be on the rig, but. Well, at least we didn't do like a joke. You can see
What is it?
It's
Just what about it?
it's clearly a swastika.
Is it?
It's an incomplete swastika.
I haven't had a good
but it's
shot at it.
clearly a swastika.
No, you're being arrested, so it's by definition
Okay, you'll get a lawyer. Okay,
not a
so
violation of your human
so what's
rights.
going to happen
if it's
is
due process.
they're going to get into some crazy stuff together, and by the end of this, they're going to be in love.
Yeah, he just read you your rights, so you're being arrested. Are we supposed to like this person?
Usually when we make
Is
movies...
she cool because she's all sassy? Is that...
Usually when we make movies where we have protesters and, like, oil barons... The oil barons are the bad guys. But this film is bucking trends. I mean, except for the swastika stuff.
That's a good point. I think maybe we're just supposed to hate everyone, though.
That's a problem that a lot of horror movies fall into.
Yeah. Like, I don't even think it's necessarily that the protesters are bad and
There it is.
Yeah, I see it. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Really? You wouldn't have thought swastika?
Uh-uh. No, because it's like, it's two pickaxes. I mean, like, I see where you're coming from. I just wouldn't have picked up on it. Like, now that you say that, okay. But, like...
When there's red around it and
if there was one on... If one had a spike on the other side...
Well, if they were straight up. Like, usually if you made that symbol, you would make them like this. Like
Eric is pantomiming swastikas now.
Well, no, I'm pantomiming not swastikas. You would do it like this. Like, where they're X'd and like...
Yeah. No, I see it now that you say that. I just... Yeah, let's put this on the big screen with all these big headshots.
This guy thinks he's Zed. I can't think what the actor's name is, but he thinks he's Zed.
What do you mean he thinks he's Zed?
Not Lord Zed.
Oh.
MIB Zed.
MIB, yeah. That's true. He does think he's that guy. Not that character, but that actor.
I'm the intergalactic kegger.
Yeah.
So a line I know from Zed. Just because he's mocked for it later.
That's all you get.
That's my whatever that guy's name is impression.
Why don't you go show Junior here?
So,
That's the idea.
You grew up in a small southern town.
I did.
It's pretty accurate.
I want that guy to be Brian Cox, though. Well, I didn't live in Swampland, though. This is not south just below the Midwest. This is on a coast, so no, it's nothing like that. This has to be either Florida or. Did they tell us at the beginning and we just missed
Georgia?
it? Exactly.
It would make more sense in Georgia because they still have more of that southern stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
Florida doesn't have that.
Aren't there places? Aren't there some places in Florida that still kind of have
there's
that?
some places in every state like that.
Right. But you guys have swamp, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I meant the whole southern thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's probably Georgia.
It could be Louisiana.
It could be Louisiana. That's where the vampires go.
And the swamp monsters, apparently.
Yeah.
So we're several minutes in. We haven't seen even a glimpse of the monster yet. I'm sure they think that they're building suspense.
Yeah. That guy looks like he's just out of college. And he's like the special sheriff that they just said. Like, he's already sheriff. They sent him into town to be the new sheriff.
Yeah, there wasn't any competition. Yeah, remember, that's an elected position. This guy's run for office. No, you're right.
He looks like he's about my age.
It's a high school production is what it is.
Yeah.
Or a college production.
These two actors, exactly how they look here, could also play teenagers in Smallville.
That's absolutely right.
Or any CW show.
Mm-hmm.
Blank Curgers.
The music in this is all over the place.
We serve everything.
We're doing a lot of pop stuff, and then the actual score is super generic, like, southern stock rock, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a whole genre, southern stock rock. No bikes! Do not bring your bikes inside.
It's a real problem on Swampland.
Yeah.
Everybody's biking everywhere.
At first I thought maybe it was supposed to be a biker bar, but it's not, so...
Biker bar sans the bikes.
So, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'll just have one cup. Your little scheme didn't work out there, did it? Is that supposed to be funny? First one's free, second one's twice the price?
Yeah, I was sitting here noodling that, trying to figure out what the point of that line was. She's supposed to be the cool, charming woman who runs the place.
Okay, so she's in a suit now. What is she? I guess it's not a suit, but... Because she's going to be like a lawyer or something, or like... She's going to have a brain.
Yeah, even though she seemed completely brainless at the beginning.
Yeah.
When she's screaming about being arrested. And some of that is just the choice of actress.
Well, she was
Or
drunk off the adrenaline.
It was supposed to be, I'm a professional, how dare you? But I wasn't getting that from that scene.
Anybody can get swept
well,
up.
That guy is a special kind of creepy. Acting!
Did he walk up the stairs see a Stephen King movie?
Clearly. If you have the courage to believe. I actually won't be showing you anything.
Is that Killer Croc?
But if you believe it, you might think it's there.
See, we thought we had to do prosthetic stuff. That's just Killer Croc. Maybe give him some pointy teeth.
Wait, you think that guy has prosthetics on his face?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Is give him some pointy teeth, and that's Killer Croc.
Okay, all right. Sure.
Killer Croc is often southern.
Is that a not endearing nickname you gave that guy, or is that his name? Plug.
I will shoot you.
I would love to. We're going out of our way to make all of these people as obnoxious and unlikable as humanly possible. Because it's supposed to be a horror movie.
We want to be happy when they die.
Yeah, of course.
You know what would be real horrifying?
Give me one person to latch onto, like...
To make a movie where you care about the characters whether they're being killed?
And then we kill them all
really
as we go along? Yeah, sure. I don't trust that cake. I don't think anybody should eat that cake.
So if I take, like, one other person, I'm good?
Oh, of course. You're the elderly Native American who knows everything. Because you gotta have
singing in native language.
Of course you gotta have that whole thing.
You knew that was what was going to happen when he was there, right?
I mean, there was a part of me that was kind of... You know,
thinking this movie might be better than that?
He's playing an assault, he's like, this means something!
Yeah, he's making a symbol, something. I'm sure it's a Nexus or Man Thing or something.
It's the Man Thing Nexus.
I'm sure the Nexus will be mentioned in this. They wouldn't just ignore something like that.
You don't think? You think they looked at anything from the comics?
No.
At all? Besides just... this really feels like they had a title. What do you do with Man Thing?
Look, I've never looked at a Man Thing comic.
Well, clearly, you just make it...
They can at least know as much as I do.
A big, legendary monster. You're just making a Bigfoot movie, and you're done. I don't understand how movies like this get made. Like, who gets a... Nobody's excited to work on a movie like this. It's...
I know a lot of times with movies like this, you hear that, like, the cast thinks this is going to be their big break. They're making a real movie, and...
They're taking it real seriously.
And every year we put out some...
But I don't even mean with the cast. I just mean whoever, like, sat down to, like, produce this and then to write it, like... I mean, I get that you hire writers, and a lot of the time they just have a job, and they just do the job, and that's how you end up with really, you know, formulaic, dime a dozen kinds of movies. But I just don't know why you would make it like this. Why, like why wouldn't you want it to stand out? Is the point I'm making. I don't know anything about Man Thing, but it's got to be more interesting than this.
Maybe you think you are making it stand out. You're saying something about nature and oil and... I don't know.
Right, because we haven't seen that 100 times. Like,
people clearly seem to not realize that we have.
Yeah.
You saw Avatar.
I did.
No, I think a lot of movies like this, people are in denial about what they're making. I mean, you listen to the commentary for Son of the Mask, like listen to commentaries for a lot of really bad movies.
You just get too close to it.
Yeah, people think they're making something really, really worth watching. And with horror, it's even harder to tell because what horror franchise hits and becomes super successful and which one doesn't, it seems to be entirely arbitrary.
Really arbitrary, yeah.
We once a year there's a movie that comes out that is about as good as every other horror movie, and for some reason it's super popular, and we'll put out a sequel to that every year for 8 years, and then we'll move on to a new franchise.
So I guess I'm... Oh wow, that guy's super racist. So I guess I was wrong, but this couldn't have been on television, right?
It was probably just edited, right?
I thought it was on Sci-Fi.
Maybe there's like an edited cut of it.
Lots of F-bombs, and we had nudity at the beginning, and I don't know how you cut around some of this, really.
Maybe it was like a Sci-Fi, like, late at night thing. I think they do that sometimes.
Do they?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, if they do that, that makes sense.
I want to say they used to air, like, some uncensored, more mature animes late at night. Maybe.
That is a really dumb line. Like, that's the most obvious thing to say.
You could have said that after any other line in this movie.
Yeah, I know, but you're a sheriff. Obviously, you have to deal with people that break the... He goes, if you break the law, you have my full attention. This I think of as an open case. Like... Yeah, if someone breaks the law and you know about it, and they don't have your full attention, you're not doing your job. That's a stupid thing to say.
Great if you had like.
Sure, appreciate all that character building that we've been doing.
I'm real sad that all these people die. You might see me cry.
I'm not even going to be glad to see them die. They're just kind of nothing right now. It's just because I've had to sit through too many of these kinds of movies.
Well,
right?
and that's the thing with a lot of with this idea. We're like, well, we make these characters unlikable, so you're glad when they die. They're so cartoonishly unlikable. You're not glad when they die. You're just like, well, this is a cartoon.
Who movies like this are for? Like, a lot of the time with B movies, we make something that's kind of intentionally bad, and there's an audience for that, so you're supposed to be laughing with it. Mm-hmm. This doesn't feel like one of those. It feels like it thinks that it's telling a real story.
Well, and I prefer movies like that. I don't like movies where you're intentionally making something to laugh at.
Yeah.
I like movies like this where somebody thought this was a good idea.
And yeah,
and it just fails spectacularly
afterwards. But I guess my point is, when you're making this, who is this movie for? Like, do you think that there's this giant audience of people that might enjoy a thing like this but have never actually sat through one? Because that's the only way you would even remotely get them, because it's so dime a dozen.
I mean,
that's my thing.
That's so many slasher movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I don't understand about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it just the familiarity that they think people like, where it's like, because they kind of know what's going to happen, and they've seen this kind of thing a bunch of times, like, that's why they're going to enjoy it?
Sure. I mean, I watch action movies like that.
That's true. A lot of action movies don't act like it's the first time you've ever seen what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Some of them do. So, this guy hates every other ethnicity, so he's dying first.
Yeah.
He's just been throwing racial slurs since he was on camera.
Well, second. That girl at the beginning, and that guy.
Yeah, I just mean
die third.
Of these people that we've been dealing with since that first scene.
This looks like a Power Ranger set, and I don't mean that as a compliment. But to be fair, it looks better than I thought it was going to look. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Is he the Traveler?
Is he the
speaker of mysteries? He's probably the speaker of riddles. He's going to tell him all about the hour of scampering.
Oh! I thought you were talking about something that's in the
No.
You you were talking about Babylon 5. You think this guy is pissed off the Green? You think the Green is coming after him?
Yeah, that's probably what that is.
Yeah, I just want this to be a Swamp Thing movie. Well,
I mean, you got some of those on your shelf. We can watch one of those.
We could. Well, I don't hate Swamp Thing.
There's a whole TV show.
Yeah. But that first movie, it's okay.
It's Wes Craven.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an actual director, which is more than I can say for this.
I had things to say. I don't remember what they were, but I remember liking it okay. I think it got a 2 or 2.5. I mean, it's not great, but
is it better than this?
Yeah, well, it's a different kind of movie. It's about Swamp Thing. Like, he's the central protagonist. So it's a mad scientist movie. Or maybe not mad scientist, but you know what I mean.
I don't know exactly, but I don't think Man-Thing talks. I think Man-Thing stories might be he is the supernatural element in other stories.
That's what I thought about it. Yeah, but again, I've never read one.
He shows up in Ultimate Spider-Man, and it's the worst thing ever.
Really?
Yeah, because when you read Ultimate Spider-Man, you will only get told that Peter Parker has encountered the Lizard. It is in...
Oh, strange.
For like 6 issues, we did Ultimate Team Up.
Mm-hmm.
And Ultimate Man-Thing is the Ultimate Spider-Man the Lizard story, and at the very end, they're in the sewers, Man-Thing pops up and burns him and turns him back into Kirk Connors, and they leaves.
That's really silly. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was just a plot device.
Yeah, and that issue's in continuity, but the issue with Iron Man can't be, because one, that's the Ultimate Tony Stark, and two, they bust through the Marvel offices.
It's really nice of you to help out that man. He's got a family.
And a thing.
No, I mean, Man-Thing turning Kirk Connors back. Yeah.
Oh man, it's a dead body! No way, somebody just got this at Spencer's and covered in KY jelly and moss. It's a real body. Doesn't look fake at all. I mean, at this point, Halloween has gotten so elaborate, I've probably seen things like that on people's lawns.
You could probably go to a Halloween store and buy that.
Yeah.
The sheriff should be asking him if he's sure that it's not a prank, that some kid didn't plant that in the woods. But as I always say, if I'm really enjoying the story, I don't mind if effects aren't great.
Are we really you smoking a cigarette with those gloves on, and
that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's the thing that always kind of frustrates me about things like this is just because you have a low budget doesn't mean that you can't have creative and clever writing. That costs nothing.
Yeah. No, I mean,
sure,
costs a creative and clever writer.
Hiring a man that can do the job, but you or I might write at least a more fun movie than this. I don't mean to compare myself to other people as far as writing goes. I just mean find somebody off the street that wants to write, and you might have. It might not be a smart or a good or a movie that makes sense, but it might be more fun. You might at least get some.
You never see a movie like this and then find out that the writer goes on to do things.
Yeah,
it's never like. And it was written by Joss Whedon. That just doesn't happen. Like, not saying that people's first things are always good, but there's a spark or something. Like these kinds of movies, those people never do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you do certainly have a lot of hit or miss writing with writers that you think of a lot of the time anyway as really good or brilliant writers, because again, they get hired to do a job, and sometimes there's a lot of compromises that get made. They get written over. You never really know who's got the last draft on the thing.
Yeah, but you can see inklings of things.
Yeah, it's like that with, you said Whedon. I mean, early Whedon scripts are always like that, where it might not be a good movie, but you can
pick out Whedon lines.
Yeah.
And obviously he did a lot of work as a rewriter. There's some bits and speeches he wrote.
Yeah, like you said, there's a spark somewhere.
Yeah. But this guy, whoever wrote this, probably David Goyer.
That's modern art.
Yeah. If I've ever seen it.
See it.
It tells a story.
Well, it's really meta. It comes out of the picture onto the wall. It's about... It's art reflecting life, Eric. It's about how violence in art can influence people to do violence in real life.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
It spills right out of the canvas, the blood and the intestines and...
Oh, no, I wasn't supposed to tell you about those other bodies.
I'm sure that rebel flag is part of the artwork. I'm sure that's intentional. We are well over a half an hour into this movie, and we still haven't seen the Man-Thing.
Were we holding it back for the big final showdown? Yeah.
Which might be smart.
Yeah.
Or it might be a really... If it looks awful, you probably don't want to save it all the way to the end, where, like, that's your big reveal.
Well...
I can see that going either way.
But you also don't have it through the whole movie, then? If it looks awful?
Yeah, that's
If it looks
true
good,
too.
it's a mistake. I'm excited.
It's weird that we haven't seen pieces of it at all, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
That you haven't had a hand or or a scaly back or something. McFarlane wanted to make an action figure of that. He really did.
Oh, but Marvel's
Not a
got
man, a Man-Thing. He closed his eyes like that because he didn't like my joke. He was like, oh, that's such a stupid joke.
It just sunk in that he's in the Man-Thing movie.
Yeah.
Not that there's not a good movie to be made out of Man-Thing. I'm sure there is. Oh, hey, I forgot you were in this movie.
I legitimately want to see a remake of Swamp Thing. I really think there's something there.
Well, and I'm sure I've never read the Alan Moore stuff, but people love that. Like, I'm sure there's a movie in there somewhere.
The identity stuff with that character is potentially fascinating. That you have a swamp monster that has the memories of a man that, if memory serves, like created it, but the distinction is it's not really who he was.
Well, that's what Alan Moore does.
And it's kind of well, that's what the movie does, and it's it's up to you to decide if he really is. I can't remember his name now, but
Walter Kovacs?
No, that's not his name.
That's somebody else's name.
Yeah,
I don't know who.
That's Rorschach.
Is that Rorschach's
That's
name?
Rorschach.
Why is that sticking in my brain?
I don't know. I mean, I know Rorschach is Walter Kovacs.
Maybe it's because it's like I'm like in the Alan Moore portion of my brain where I put all my Alan Moore.
Is that what it
memories.
is? Yeah. You put that.
I literally just said a random name.
You got a filing system for
by
characters and create. Yeah. You went into your Rolodex in the back of your brain. Eric, you're not in this commentary with I'm not in this commentary with you. You're in this commentary with me.
I mean, that was apparent from frame one.
That guy really is a special kind of creepy.
Yeah.
No
one ever walks up with a running...
supposed to think that he was going to come out and chainsaw those guys?
Well, no one... Well,
that's where that was going?
No one ever walks up with a running chainsaw and is not being, like, a tremendous jerk. Like, you're just...
Well, that's clearly on purpose. That's his way of dissing those guys, you know? That's his... That's... I've never heard that before. I've never heard anyone say, get them heads out of the formaldehyde. But yeah, that's that guy's, like, swamp hickish way of
intimidating
doing,
him?
Of doing the, like, Luke Cage upscale mob boss thing. Like, one of the mob guys in Luke Cage would, like, drop a candy bar on your floor, or like take money he owes you and like put it in your face. That guy walks up to you with a chainsaw.
Do good old boys refer to themselves as good old boys?
In movies sometimes they seem to, yeah. Now, I will say that I think I would have picked up on that looking like a swastika here. Because it's on a brown button-up shirt on the shoulder. Okay, it's on the lapel, but it's real close to the shoulder.
It doesn't look that dark.
See, it's for our benefit, so we can actually see
it actually looks like
on.
morning?
It probably was. But it also looks like they put a filter on it, so it might have been...
normal? Day?
Midday? Yeah.
This also looks like morning.
Yeah, this is what this guy does when he gets up in the morning. He does his chanting after breakfast.
Well, when would you do your chanting? You don't want to do chanting on an empty
I definitely would want to be on a full stomach. Yeah, precisely. So,
Boat's real
how is Man-Thing versus Man-Wolf not a miniseries we've done at Marvel?
I'm sure that's happened.
It seems like it's just right there. Some of these shots aren't bad, Eric.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm telling you, this looks better than this looks like at least on the level of most pilots at this time.
Sure.
on Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the original movies.
And
it looks,
and it is real piloty.
Yeah. I mean, that's I guess a compliment. It's not like 2005 Sci-Fi is making a lot of good shows. I mean, I think we're in the swing of Battlestar Galactica, but that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Well, Dresden Files is on around this time.
Right
I
after
like that,
and I never saw that, but right after this is when we fall real hard on Sci-Fi, and they're no longer interested in making science fiction, much less scripted content.
Mm.
That's when wrestling comes to the Sci-Fi Channel.
And it becomes sci-fi. I'm not sure if it's become sci-fi yet or not.
No, that doesn't happen until 7 or 8, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I think it's,
so this is still Sci-Fi.
I think.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Well, yes, because remember it wasn't sci-fi yet when we had Who Wants to Be a Superhero, and that was 07.
You're right. And you know it's before the Sci-Fi Channel, like Sci-Fi Channel original movie, like became what it is. Like it used to just be like this stupid thing they do on Sundays.
Yeah.
And like now it's become like a thing they're known for. Whereas before it was like, we need to fill programming.
Yeah, they're butt of jokes because of it now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if well, I guess they still make them because that's Sharknado.
Well, and that's they just air Asylum films. Like it's not like they're making them. They're just showing Asylum films. Someone was real happy about that line of dialogue.
Yeah, we are real stereotypical with these Southern hicks, yeah?
This guy's not going to die. He's going to be real.
It's going to be everybody but the sheriff, right?
Yep, and probably that girl.
Oh, of course we have to do that.
So, like, this isn't the kind of thing you put in a movie when you're not trying. They think this is funny.
Yeah, they're too close to it, and they want to make a gross, raunchy movie that's supposed to be, yeah.
I don't do well with this kind of humor.
I don't either. I'm starting to miss Elektra.
A little bit. There was a pretty fight scene in that movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Terrence Stamp.
Yeah.
Maybe this movie will surprise us. Terrence Stamp is Man-Thing.
I didn't detest those characters. They were just kind
of
nothing.
Care.
I didn't care. These characters are nothing too, but they're like gross nothing.
Yeah.
I'm getting real restless having to sit through this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't do that. You don't bring up Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or any of the other standard legends in a movie like this, right?
Why not?
'Cause you're, I don't know. It's just again just kind of the obvious thing to do. Like you have your own. You should develop a legend around it. You think that by now they would have like come up with a name for it and stuff.
A real
of what they think it is.
Real clever name like Man-Thing. You know, that is the thing that's going to hold back Man-Thing from getting a proper adaptation of any kind. That name?
Yeah.
How do you get that name? Oh, he's like a man-thing.
Well, I don't know that it necessarily needs to ever be named in your movie.
And if it does get a movie, you know what?
I'm not saying I'm upset because we haven't. Nobody's name dropped Man-Thing yet.
Because they don't have a name.
Yeah.
He's not like the Swamp Beast.
I mean, I guess if they were saying, maybe it's the Loch Ness Monster, it's just telling a story about someone thinking about the Loch Ness Monster around all this. I don't know.
So they rented a pool and put like a tree in the middle of it.
We can make a sequel to this movie pretty easily.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I mean, not as easily as Dr. Mordred, but the money spent on this movie.
All we need to do is find an abandoned amusement park. We know they're everywhere.
The money spent on this movie could have been spent on a Dr. Mordred sequel.
This movie really could use some Jeffrey Combs, actually.
Yeah.
Or somebody of that caliber. It needs a big B-movie star.
Yeah. Yeah, I need someone.
I'm sorry, this just isn't fun. It's not even fun to make fun of, really. I got nothing.
I take Kane Hodder at this point. He's the most prominent Jason. And sometimes he cameos in horror movies as himself, or like as not in makeup.
Maybe we're going to show him already?
Well, I mean, we've built up the suspenses, so much. I just
and you
have to give us a little bit of something.
Now we're finally seeing glimpses of him, at least. Yeah, but we're deep enough into the swamp that you got to show us something now. But I'm just wondering if anything is going to set this monster apart from any other monster. Right now, it feels like it's just the swamp attacking people.
Yeah, and it's not like judgment, which is what Man-Thing is. He's not burning people with his touch, which is what Man-Thing does.
Yeah, he's just sticking tentacles.
It's real generic.
People. And it doesn't seem to. Maybe we'll find out that it does. It doesn't seem like it has any kind of a motive.
Do you ever notice whenever we catch up with people jogging in movies, it's always right when they stop and
is it killing any particular kind of person?
It doesn't seem like. It seems like anybody that goes in the swamp.
Whoever goes in there, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what the social commentary is supposed to be, because at the beginning we had.
Oh, we forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen much of that since then. I mean, we're trying to evoke things like bigotry and.
Yeah, that old guy that you were so sure was dead. Did he die? I've forgotten already.
Yeah. No, I think he did die.
Did he die? I can't remember.
I mean, we had this suspenseful bit where he was walking around that building.
Yeah, I remember him going up into the shack.
Did we cut away from him?
Or a shack. I don't know if it's this one.
Is that the Love Shack, Eric?
He says it's locked.
Baby Love Shack.
It's a wooden door.
You break it down.
Why don't you open that door?
Do you guys need a warrant?
Well, I mean, if somebody's living there, I think legally they might. Don't call me Chief, I'm the Sheriff. The Sheriff of the Swamplands. Yeah, and I will make my own legend.
It really does look like we just shot this in a theme park ride. We just went to the Pirates of the Caribbean and redressed it to look like a swamp. This would be a cool theme park ride, though.
Yeah.
The theme park ride.
Would it be the giant-sized thing?
Disney. That's great. Disney owns it now, so
it could happen.
It could happen.
You could get your giant-sized man thing.
I want it. I want it so bad. I want to see people get and based on this movie too. And I want to see people get skewered by Man-Thing tentacles. And then at the end, you come face to face with Ghost Rider and he gives you the penance stare.
Yeah.
He's just in here for no reason.
A Ghost Rider can hang out in the bayou. Why not?
And Man-Thing's angry because he's afraid that Ghost Rider is going to set the whole forest on fire, the whole woods on fire. The swamp.
Yep.
You're going to have a big swamp fire.
Yep.
Wine!
Why do we keep cutting back to these people?
Yeah.
Like the other part of this movie is boring, but it's like a regular bad movie, and like it's fine. But these people,
we're making a really big deal out of these sets we built. That's all this is, and building suspense. But it's like, look at all this dry ice we have.
We could get dry ice.
Yeah. They're just shooting as much of this as they can because they think this is the money bit. Yeah, we're so sad he's dead. Well, you're about to experience yourself. Yeah. You're going to have the same fun time.
Yeah, this isn't even...
That's what happens in the giant size man theme park ride.
One random passenger will be pulled into the...
That's right. But don't worry, because we have lifeguards on hand.
They keep saying Mike Plug, and I feel like that's somebody. But I don't feel like it's a character. I feel like it's a creator.
Plug?
Yeah.
But that's not who created Man-Thing.
No, maybe he's somebody that worked on Man-Thing. I don't know. That name sounds real familiar to Mike Plug. But I guess we do now know that's not a nickname. That's his last name.
It sounds like a ridiculous name if somebody made it up. If it's based on a creator or something, okay.
Yeah. I want to say Mike Plug somebody. Okay.
Are you guys just anchoring for this to be a video game instead?
I may have lost the thread of this film.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever grasped it.
Why are we in this swamp?
I don't know. We were looking for someone.
Something murders.
Initially I thought we were just going to chase after this monster.
But we don't even know there's a monster.
Right, yeah. I kept assuming that we would very quickly decide there was maybe a monster. But of course, as always, we assumed it was people.
That's to steady your gun to make sure your shot's better?
Yes.
He's just looking around. This is the time for this. Not this.
Like, there's a perfectly good rail shooter in here somewhere.
What would you shoot?
Well, if you had a whole bunch of Man-Things.
There's only one Man-Thing. He's Guardian of the Nexus.
Look, you can do whatever you want to at this point. They're not looking at the actual comic book Man-Thing. Why does this have the Marvel logo at the beginning of it?
I don't know.
It's not... It doesn't seem to have anything to do with that character. Based on the 13 things you know about that character. I'm just basing it on you.
Oh, hey, it's you again. You look like that guy in the beginning of Iron Man, who's not the Mandarin.
That guy does look like he belongs in some comic book movie.
Yeah. And he's got a little bit of presence.
Yeah.
He could have been Dracula and played Trinity.
I wish the whole movie had been following that guy. Not that I know anything about him. He just, like you said, has a little bit of screen presence. This is a thing we do in these kind of horror movies all the time that drives me crazy, where we just cut back and forth between people yelling each other's names.
Yeah.
That's a big Poltergeist sequel thing. I mean, I guess they say it several times in Poltergeist too, but it gets to the point of ridiculous. Karen! Carolyn! Over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that we really do when we're looking for people, but I've never seen a movie where it doesn't get annoying. And or comedic.
That guy looks like Frank Miller.
Okay. That guy?
Slightly. Or maybe Grant Morrison.
I can see a little Grant Morrison. You know why he stands out amongst this entire cast?
Because he's wearing a trench coat.
I was going to say because he's not doing a southern accent.
That helps.
He said something about the Guardians, so maybe the Nexus does exist.
So there is a supernatural component to this. I mean, beyond just there's a big monster.
Yeah,
because that's not necessarily supernatural.
The oil rig didn't create Man-Thing, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
I'm assuming he is like supernatural, but I guess that's how we can bookend our movie.
Not what it is.
Oil got in the swamp, and as we all know, oil is radioactive and creates monsters.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, when you mix it with kryptonite, this happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle, is that you? Who else would it be in the swamp in the middle of the night?
That guy's the only person in this movie that has anything going on behind his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he's trying to accomplish something, and like he knows what's going on. And like he's not just a stand-in actor
real cool.
being directed by being directed by a director.
I'm so tense, and like it's built me up so much. Like this monster really has to look real cool, or at least look like Man-Thing. Because I don't necessarily think Man-Thing looks cool, but
could you do a really cool looking Man-Thing that looks like Man-Thing?
I don't think so. Man-Thing is not a particularly great design.
I don't think so either. It's
this trunk thing he's got going on. You know what I'm talking about? Like that was designed.
Yeah, if that and the Swamp Thing were created simultaneously, obviously DC got the better end of the stick there.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying anything about like Man-Thing's like mythology or like anything like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Swamp Thing looks better and is more interesting, design wise at least, aesthetically. Nothing.
I didn't put his arm there. I just found the arm. It was just lying right there. I know I'm creeping everybody out as I'm walking around, and I'm a big conspiracy nut, but you can't assume I did this just because whenever somebody walks in a room and I'm sitting there, I do this at them constantly. That doesn't make me a mutilator, okay?
So is this the worst of these that we've had to watch?
So far, yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man 2, but...
Would you stop that?
I mean, the 90s Captain America is better than this. The Roger Corman Fantastic Four is better than this.
Sure.
At least more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Like, Corman's Fantastic Four isn't a masterpiece, but it's...
Yeah, this is a tough thing to sit through. I like... We're doing this on camera, and I'm having a hard time not falling asleep.
Yeah, it's...
Ugh.
It's just nothing. It's not...
Yeah.
It's not good bad.
It's really not. Oh, there it is. There's
it's a Man-Thing.
It's a Man-Thing. Okay, but it has to have man parts of some kind, right?
It's got arms and legs. It's humanoid.
I thought always...
In the comics.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I know, but what if they see... Like, haven't they just kind of seen tentacles floating around? They just had this vague, like, shadowy picture thing just now, but how do they know that it's even correlated to it? I don't know.
Someone's out there waiting.
That's such your standard, like, vague, conspiracy picture. Like, anybody would look at that and be like, that's probably dust on a lens, right?
Mm.
You were just a conspiracy
This was
nut.
made in
You're
2005.
looking for
We
monsters.
had color cameras.
Well, the picture was in color.
Oh, that was in black and white.
It was just...
Oh, I was thinking that was a picture of the thing that we saw earlier. The one that was in the picture frame?
Oh, maybe it was... I'm not sure.
I was
I'm not sure.
understanding, or you were misunderstanding.
I thought that was... I probably was. I don't know.
I don't know why there would be a picture of that or why I'd be looking at it, but that's what I thought it was. But Maybe it did come from the conspiracy. What a... Oh, that's a scared kid.
Is that foreshadowing? Is that what the Man-Thing is going to do to the sheriff's car?
I don't know.
Or was it foreshadowing for this, where we already have cars on fire?
See, that kid was there, and then, like, right off screen was John Connor and the Terminator, and John Connor's looking at that case like, we're not going to make it, are we? People, I mean.
Now you said that, I'm going to be really upset if this movie ends with Highway at Night. It better not have Highway at Night.
Hey, Terry, I'm Pete.
Let's get acquainted. So we have two characters that seem to know something about the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that would be one character.
Mm-hmm.
Unless one is trying to protect it and the other isn't, right? So...
Or one dies and he's the one that puts you on the trail, and then there's another person there that, you know, knows stuff.
Yeah, because this is your standard, like, Weiss Age character who's in the know. And then you have... Well, I guess the other was a different archetype, because he's the hunter of Tosk.
Tad Salis was his elder. He was...
No, this is going to be about the oil, isn't it?
Tad Salis?
No, the oil is going to create Man-Thing.
The Native American's mentor was Tad Salis! That's not a Native American name!
Neither is his.
You're right, his name's Pete! It's not Native American at all. Was he Native American when they wrote this?
He's not even like Pete Moonbeam or something.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't even have a Native American-like other name. Like Pete Wolf's Head or something.
I don't know if that's progressive, or I'm just surprised. Like, he is the magical, like, Native American man.
Yeah.
I would have thought his name would be like Moon Bloodgood. Not Moon Bloodgood, that's a person with the coolest name of all time, but something like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're reacting to it now, because we got his name at the beginning of the movie.
It didn't occur to me till now. I was like, wait, his name's Pete? Well, I guess I didn't even...
I almost commented on that, but... Oh, it is! They did do the Nexus!
Oh.
It's the Nexus of all realities. But he's also talking about the oil, like it created the Man-Thing. Okay.
Okay. So, the oil rig is on the Nexus of all realities.
It's turning into Violator! Sorry.
But why is it
so it's mad about pollution.
Yeah. Specifically polluting the Nexus of realities.
Right.
You don't pollute the Nexus of realities.
Yeah. This is why you gotta be really careful where you put your trash, folks. Because...
You never know when it's going to be on the Nexus of realities.
That's right. You might be
and now
ruining...
you're putting trash in other realities, and they didn't ask for that.
Yeah, you might be ruining the whole universe. You know, if you take your plastic six-pack rings and you throw them in the ocean, and they wind up in another universe, and there's like a six-headed bird there whose heads just barely fit in there, and it strangles them all, you'd feel real bad about that, right? So it's very important that we have an interdimensional entity that can pop up and stop all of that.
I mean, but
you know, that
before this
can show us the error of our ways.
Before this oil rig was on the Nexus of realities and spilled its oil into other realities, Mustafar was a lush planet.
Yeah, and it's also how we wound up with the Nexus in Star Trek.
It's probably the same Nexus.
I don't think it is. I think it's a different Nexus.
How many Nexuses could there be? At least 6, based on Blade Runner. It's Nexus 6.
Well, this Nexus leads to different realities. The Nexus in Generations just kind of let you live in whatever reality you wanted to, but it wasn't actually real.
But maybe that's just like the first level of the Nexus.
Or maybe it's like Limbo or something. Is that the first shap?
But
it's
like,
the first shap.
But like if you move past that, after that is other realities. If you're strong enough. Is she someone? Now that I'm seeing her face, I feel like maybe I've seen her in something. Like after this. Maybe she's on
I
Smallville.
don't know. We'd have to
I
look
don't
her
know.
up. She looks like she easily could have been a Power Ranger.
She does look like she could have been a Power Ranger. She also looks like she could have been on any show on Sci-Fi. Like as a regular.
Yeah. That guy, however, I'm wondering how he got even this job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
I mean, he can't act.
No.
I told you.
It's
I told
the
you you're gonna fall in
eyebrows,
love.
right?
Are you impressed?
I didn't even hear you say that.
Oh no!
You
no.
said they were going to fall in love?
Yeah, I said they were gonna fall in love. You can roll back tape. I said it.
I believe you.
I mean, this movie's real twisty turny, but I'm one step ahead of it. Yeah, no, the eyebrows don't help, and that haircut's doing no favors for him. And he's just like a shade not handsome enough, like for the kind of role that he's trying to play.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's the eyebrows.
Yeah.
He looks like a CW pretty boy to a degree.
He looks like a normal person that you would see and be like, you kind of look like a CW pretty boy.
He's got a cleft chin and he's got the eyebrows, but the hair is not working, and he's not in the best of shape.
He was probably the prettiest boy in the town he grew up in. But that's not CW pretty.
Maybe they went to the swamp and they found him because they were like, we're looking for somebody who looks believably southern but almost CW pretty boy. And then they took him from the swamp to their swamp set in Vancouver. That's what they did. What is going on right now?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. What is
I think he punched him.
What is happening in this movie?
But it was off screen or below the frame. You know, this is in widescreen.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, it was released in some theaters, so
Yeah.
that doesn't totally surprise me. Like, even if it aired on TV, it was released like a direct-to-video movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even by this point, those were probably mostly in widescreen, right?
I don't know.
05?
05?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Maybe it was still somewhat hit or miss, but we were getting dangerously close to the days of no longer having full-screen movies.
Which we should have started with. Because here's the thing. No
No,
one
I
would have
agree with you.
complained about the black bars if we just never gave you another option.
Yeah.
That's just how movies look.
Yeah, we don't need to format them to fit your screen. Boy, if I had a dime for every time I've said that to Eric, man, you're always trying, but you're never doing. Come on, Eric. You gotta show some gumption, man. You gotta assert yourself a little bit.
Maybe it'd be more inspiring if you had a Hummer.
Okay. We'll have this... I'll give you this lecture at some point when I buy my Hummer.
Okay.
That guy is really over the top.
Yeah. You know what he'd be great in? A Captain Planet.
This movie has... Yes! Yeah, he could be,
The pig guy.
Yeah. Yeah, his name is on the tip of my tongue.
Boss
But, yeah,
Hog?
but yes, no, that's not his name. Now that you've done that, I'm going to have a hard time remembering his name. But yeah, he could be that guy. Yeah, that's perfect casting for that guy. There are too many characters in this movie.
Yeah. Are they
Maybe it
hillbillies,
is
Dad?
Hogsley. Is that his name? No, I gotta look it up. I forget. Yes, I think we killed them. Yeah, we killed them both.
Yes, we did kill them both.
Because remember, he's like, "What happened to you?" And then the same
Yeah,
thing
and then,
happened to him right after
yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
I feel like...
He will never have a fried Twinkie again.
Yeah. I feel like we keep like introducing like characters, and then we like leave them for a little bit.
What
and then
is that?
that sound?
What is the Dreamcatcher thing supposed to be? Like, we keep zooming in on it.
I think it's the symbol
Is
of
that
man
supposed,
thing?
or is it supposed to be the symbol of the Nexus?
I think you should call the FBI.
I am somewhat... Yeah, I think you should call the FBI a long time ago. Like, have someone else come in and take care of this. Almost CW, pretty boy. Swampland, pretty boy. Welcome to Vancouver. I bet this was not shot in Vancouver. Watch us look it up and find out it was shot in Louisiana, and perplexingly, they built some swamp sets because they just couldn't get to enough swamp or something. Or just the swamp wasn't, like, cooperating with them, so they built some swamp. And then they were so impressed with their dry ice and their 5 trees that they just would not stop shooting there.
So amazing! Can you believe
scenes-
we built this?
Wait, are the people making the film as Hickish as the characters in the film, played by people that are not Hicks but like faking those accents? Because
Yeah.
that would be ironic, wouldn't it? If the director was like, "All right, you over there, I want you to imagine you have a tentacle through your chest."
No, your
and that
accent is off. Do it like me. I lost the accent there in the back
And that
half.
your eyeball is in your hand. Imagine that. If you don't get it right, we'll do it to you. That's so. The symbol that you said is almost a swastika. It's really weird because it also has like a Starfleet symbol right under it. I don't know what that's about. Anyway,
Is a commentary on Starfleet politics.
can we go back and start over, and I'll just do this entire commentary in this voice?
That's how they made Shrek. Do you know about that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Mike Myers recorded that movie and then said, "Oh, it'd be funny if I did Scottish," and they re-recorded
Oh,
the
I see
entire
what you're
movie.
saying. Yeah. No, I did know about that.
Guttural growling, as opposed to regular growling, or orchestral growling.
Orchestral growling. That's when you take 16 violins and you go. "Arrgh!"
That's just the worst name.
Yeah, it's missing a vowel in the middle. It's like shish. Sounds like a classical composer.
Why are we back in the swamp?
What do you like? Are you like a Vivaldi guy or a Bach guy? Nah, I go in for shisht. Johann Shisht. My favorite classical composer.
And also maybe the Red Skull.
His dates were 1792 to 1833.
It's a pretty long life for a composer.
Yeah. He died of an inoperable cyst. It was real on his neck. It was real unfortunate. Oh no! Here it is.
Here it comes.
That was abrupt.
Here it comes.
There's no reason to show it to us now, of any other time, right? Like
Yeah.
now we're seeing it,
I mean, he doesn't look awful. He doesn't look like.
or is it
anything.
because? No, I guess it makes sense. It's like
he's drawing them out?
he's throwing him out. The man thing's not going to kill him right away. So he's been hiding, of course, this whole time. You know what? Honestly, that's not awful.
No, especially for TV.
Is it for kind of TV? Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
What's going on with his eyes? Like, what? Like, why does it have floaty red dots all over it?
I don't know.
What is happening?
I think that's just a cool way to visualize his eyes.
Is that all it is? Because it looks almost mechanical.
Oh, see, I think it looks like a bunch of like tiny like fireflies.
Okay. Ah, well, that's unfortunate. You know, if we'd opened the movie with something like that, I might have been more intrigued this entire time. I actually didn't hate what that looked like
No,
for this material.
I mean it didn't look great, but like it didn't look terrible.
If they shot it in the light, it would look terrible, but
It looked better than the Hulk.
in the context of what we're looking at, sure.
I mean, they didn't put him in the broad daylight of the desert.
Exactly, yeah. I think that would have been a deal breaker for everybody. We're going to make a Man-Thing movie, but the twist is...
It's in a desert.
Uh-huh. Still shot in Vancouver, but...
Vancouver's all things to all places.
Right. Mm-hmm. In the hot, smarmy Vancouver desert. The smarmy desert.
Oh, there's swamp.
Man
dogs?
dogs! Dog things! Hulk dog things! Plug! Get this dog thing off me! It's the perfume of my future? What?
Point click fame.
I could have used more lines like that through this whole movie.
Yeah.
That was super dumb, but
That's
really
how
entertaining.
we should have been talking to the Hicks the whole movie.
This whole movie. Yeah, Life magazine! They went out of business, you idiot! No, that's funny.
Oh man, they really just had like this one little set.
Yeah.
And they're just
keep circling it. Yeah, it's like the corridors on a starship.
Mm-hmm. We just saw him. He was going to be on the cover of Life magazine for Christmas.
It's like we just suddenly realized what kind of movie we're making.
Yeah. This has to be the third act, right?
Oh no, definitely.
Dear God, tell me this is the third act. How much movie do we have left?
19 minutes.
Oh my God. This is not fun.
I meant to mention this earlier. Was it funny to you when the dry ice was like up to here on a person? Wasn't even like the water went up that far. It was like the mist.
Maybe we'll get like 15 minutes of credits. Maybe we'll get like 15 minutes of credits.
6 foot high mist. We need a big long exposition scene about the Nexus, though, right? Like more than we got before.
I don't think we're getting any more than that.
No, I'm with you.
He told you not to go in the swamp, and you don't listen. This is why you're probably not going to die, but you should.
The reason I wasn't surprised that we had 19 minutes left, Eric, is because we haven't gotten to the swirling vortex of terror in the sky yet. And there has to be a swirling vortex of terror in the sky, right?
It's more of a post-Avengers
because we have a thing called the Nexus, and I don't think
we're even going to see the Nexus. We will only hear about it in whispers.
Oh, okay. That's why I said exposition. I thought maybe we would see it, and then somebody would start talking about it.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Although, something's got to happen with that oil rig, right? Like we're going to blow it up or something?
Yeah. That's like the big...
I just don't understand, why is he murdering all of these people? Why did he murder the teenagers having sex? Like, if it's the oil people he's got a problem with, why doesn't he just go destroy that? Also, I'm still not sure what she does.
Maybe he just doesn't... Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like that there are human beings messing with nature, you know? Like, you're not supposed to be here. But again, it's not like the green with swamp thing. It's not like you're destroying Earth. It's that you're polluting the
nexus of reality.
The universe. The multiverse, really. Shist. Oh, it does have an I in it. Okay. These have been bagged subtitles, and sometimes it's come up without an I. So I thought his name was Shist.
As opposed to the obvious Shist.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which is a perfectly logical name.
It's a good, strong German name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because there's Nazis in this movie.
You were going to say that. Every time I think of a thing to say where I'm like, that's going too far, Eric just says it.
There are Nazis in this movie! I'm not reaching with that.
No, I'm not saying you are. It's like, that's a good, strong German name. Of course, German, because Nazis. I wouldn't have said that.
I thought you just meant my allegations of the Nazi symbol thing.
No, it was that it kind of... Never mind.
Oh, no! I shot her!
I almost took out another extraneous person from this film. A 45 in the spine. Yeah, that's not your natural accent, clearly.
You follow up
No,
too?
I'm not. So I guess there really has been a murder mystery plot this whole movie.
Sure.
And there's a man thing.
But the man thing's
And
been the one
nexus of-
murdering them.
Did
But we blamed somebody else for the murders that Man Thing committed.
But was anyone murdered by a person that wasn't Man Thing?
I don't think so.
Okay. I thought maybe I missed something.
Unless maybe there was one murder. I don't know.
I apologize. It has been very hard to be present through this.
And I'm not
commentary.
sure what the oil company is doing. Like, why are they even in the swamp?
Well, I assume there's oil there and they're drilling for it.
No.
No, because they put oil.
I mean, the guys that are right now in the swamp, that guy and his pa. What are they doing in the swamp right now at this moment, at the climax of this film?
Like, are they drilling for oil, or are they pumping it into... Like, it looks like they're pumping it.
I don't know. I think they're drilling for oil. I don't know. Oh, man, they're going to blow it up.
I'm actually not really sure what they're doing with the oil. I mean, we saw, like, factories and things, so...
Maybe it's sucking oil out of places that already have oil, and then they're going to sell it back to them. That's a plan that makes sense, right?
Yeah, but again, I'm trying to figure out what the deal is with the nexus of realities. Like, if they're just...
Oh, I think that's entirely coincidental.
If they're just sucking oil out, how does that hurt the nexus of reality?
Well,
like,
maybe they're, like, real sloppy about it.
I want to say I'm not picking up on these things because we're trying to make a video and talk about this as we're watching it, but I kind of have a feeling I would be asking some of the same questions.
Do you have to rewind this?
If I was fully paying attention. I plead the fifth on that. I'm not going to answer that question. But I'm not going to answer that question. This is not a superhero movie.
But it's a comic book movie.
It's based on a comic book film, but it's not comic book movie rewind. It's superhero rewind.
You could argue Hulk's not a superhero movie.
Yeah, and I know, and Punisher is an anti-hero first, but
Sin City.
And I did Swamp Thing. Anyway, moving right along.
Backed yourself into a corner.
I sure did. Luckily, there's a trapdoor that I put there, though.
You've only said you'll review everything eventually.
Yeah, right.
This is at the end of the superhero rewind list.
All I have to do is get to the end of my lifespan. That's all I have to do.
Well, it would seem that the only superhero film left to rewind is Man Thing.
Oh, this is hilarious, Eric. We are moving in the dark because we don't have enough set, so it's just all totally black behind us, really. And they're shooting this like I shot a couple of scenes in Spawn here where I was in pitch black darkness and pretending to move forward. I'm pretty sure they're not even moving forward. I'm pretty sure they're just walking in place. Why can't everybody be this over the top of this movie?
I don't.
Okay, so
understand.
So there's some kind of a freedom motif in this movie. We've been throwing that word around a lot.
Yeah. No, don't come here. There's a guy with a gun.
Thematically has something to do with the oil rigging, and that's somehow.
You're putting bombs in this thing, and look, I know that you want to be like eco-conscious and things like that, and that's great. But I don't know if you know this, but oil is highly flammable. You're likely to do more damage to the environment than.
Okay, so. Oh, see, I thought he was, like, hunting the... I keep assuming that people are have anything to do with the creature.
No.
But he's trying to... Okay. He's trying to take down the oil rig. You're a murderer, Shest. Maybe one more take, I'm thinking. You're gonna die. Let's try that again. That's fine, though. Let's leave that. That's pretty good. Here comes the man thing. Da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! You know I'm ready to kill something because all my tentacles do this! Ah!
You
okay,
got a man.
So can we agree that we really should have had this monster through the whole movie?
Yeah.
That's a movie I would have much more enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
And it really does kind of actually look like Comic Man Thing.
Yeah.
In the face, like it's got the...
Yeah, it's got the thing.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe that, but yeah.
The trunk thing. He's got a little more moss on him.
This is the most articulate commentary we've
I actually
recorded.
think he's more Swamp Thingy. Not like entirely, but like there's more Swamp Thing in this Man Thing than there usually is. And I think...
Is Man Thing this big?
No, I was going to say I think Man Thing's more person-sized.
Swamp Thing's not that big either, but... It looks like Todd McFarlane's Man Thing.
Yeah.
It really does.
I don't know what's happening. Because this is not a discerning man thing, he's just a monster.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like he's actually like the guardian of anything.
After.
Oh,
so he can regenerate.
That tree man can regenerate his tree limbs. Let me keep shooting him. Those tentacles are nuts. They're just...
That's part of where I get off saying it's Todd McFarlane's Man Thing. That's what he would do with it.
But they're just doing this.
It looks like Man Thing mixed with, like, the Creech. Oh, and we took it out with the oil rig. Why was it even there? Like, so it's supposed to be the protector of the Nexus. They're destroying the oil rig seems like what he would want, right?
I would think so.
I thought that was the whole reason he came out in the first place.
That's what I got from the dialogue. Clearly we were mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this movie.
Maybe the
oil
rig was the protector of the Nexus, and the Man Thing was the bad guy.
And again, I'm not... Okay, so he's still alive. I'm not sure what the whole freedom aspect is supposed to be about.
Nah, he just looks like Cthulhu.
It all goes back to that, doesn't it?
When he dies. But you know, this looks a lot better than I thought it would look.
I kind of like that design. I don't know. I mean, for this material.
Yeah.
For the budget of this movie.
Yeah, for this budget,
that's fun.
This looks really good for
I don't mind it. And I don't think I'm just saying that because we waited to the end. I don't think building suspense worked at all.
No. But for the budget, for like what this movie is, he looks good. Nothing else in this movie is working, but...
What is going on? What is he doing? Is he going back underground? So he's accomplished his mission! He attacked people who wanted to blow up an oil rig, and then they won, and he went, oh wait, that's what I wanted in the first place. And then he went back underground.
Foolish enough to have sex in a boat.
Yeah, well, he hasn't eaten people in a long time, and that's like gourmet.
Sure,
you know.
Sure.
Except I don't think he actually ate them. I think he just killed them. And now we're going to make out, of course, because that's obligatory. What if there's another Man Thing, you guys?
What if there's a dark Man Thing?
Let's get out of here. While we still can.
They're real awkward at kissing. All of their kisses have been really awkward.
Yeah.
Like, and now
those are clearly two actors that either just don't know how to act because they don't, or they don't like each other, so they don't want to make out. or they're real juvenile about all that.
Yeah.
It's like, but I have a girlfriend.
Is this supposed to be like dramatic, like Man-Thing might return, like bringing it like a tentacle or something?
Yeah,
it's like,
and it's trying to evoke the Native American stuff again. I'm not sure what all that was about. Wow.
Well, Brett Leonard, you outdid yourself.
You did that.
Hans Radionov?
Well, Radionov, I liked your Life magazine.
We translated it.
What?
Wow, we're putting that up right up front.
Said loosely based. Oh, Aviara.
So let's look up this Mike Plug.
Okay.
That name's real familiar.
Da-da-da-da! I just wish the whole movie was as theatrical as this sounds like.
Mike Plug is an American storyboard and comic book artist.
Oh, okay. So that was intentional.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da! Well, I'm sure if I actually watched this,
you would feel about the same?
There would be things I would understand about it. But right now I don't really know what I just watched.
He worked on Man-Thing. Yeah, Mike Plug is someone that worked on Man-Thing.
Okay. Alright. Well, that's cool. I retract my making fun of Plug as a name.
He also worked on Ghost Rider and Werewolf by Night.
Oh, cool.
This is a better closing credit song than some of the real movies we watched.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm looking up to see if I know.
Yeah, both Roger Corman, Fantastic Four, and Captain America were easier to talk through.
Yeah.
I mean, neither one of us knew this movie.
Yeah. I don't know if that would have helped, honestly.
Well, maybe one of us could have explained things to the other one.
Okay, so I just blew this case wide open.
What?
Ted Salas?
Yeah.
That's Man-Thing. His, the Native American guy was talking about, his elder.
Yeah.
That, he became Man-Thing.
Okay. That makes sense.
At least comic book-wise.
Okay. I didn't feel like we made that real... Oh, my God. This song is about Man-Thing. The Man-Thing lives again.
And the girl in this, she's in the first Transformers. She's which explains her accent. She's Australian, or she's faking an Australian accent in Transformers, but that one sounds alright.
Yeah.
She's
honestly,
the hacker chick.
There was at least one person in this, and it might have been her, that I thought sounded like an Australian trying to do... It was probably her.
And the bad guy, someone. Frederick Armstrong Schist.
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Schist.
He was a construction magnate whose primary goal was to build an expensive airport over Man-Thing's swamp. This understandably made them sworn enemies.
Oh, okay.
He was actually killed by Man-Thing when Schist himself was transformed
and the
into a
Man-Thing
monster.
lives again, and the Man-Thing lives again.
So yeah, they pulled something. They pulled some stuff from the comics.
Again. Yeah,
I guess.
So that's cool.
Sure. We talked about in Daredevil the fact that every ancillary character is named after a creator.
Yeah.
How do you feel about just making a character named after a creator? He was just Mike Plug.
I mean, we've done that in other things too.
I don't know. Have we ever done it where he's this central? I mean, central?
Yeah, Diggle.
But that was a happy accident.
What do you mean?
I guess. Well, but
What's a happy accident about it?
But he's not named... He's not named Andy Diggle.
Yeah, his brother is.
But he's dead.
No, he's not.
Oh.
He comes back.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, no, it is dumb, but I'm just saying, at that point, we did just have Andy Diggle in that show for a season. So...
Those shows suck so bad.
So yeah, no. So there's an example. There's an odd example. Really strange pointlessly retconny example.
I'll take you down.
Dude, I don't hate the song though.
No, these are better closing credit songs than some of the closing credits. It's better than Elektra's. It's not as good as Blake Trans.
This reminds me. This honestly is a little bit like what Tim Lyons and I did with Spawn Year. I'm making Spawn Year. Man
It's
Thing,
called
one
Man
word.
Thing.
What's that?
The song is called Man Thing. One word. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course it is. Cause in the chorus it's all Man Thing. I take
Camera
you
lenses
down.
supplied by Panavision Australia. I bet you this was an Australian production.
Well, maybe it was shot in Australia.
So everyone's bad accents are in fact Australians trying to do something.
Australians doing crappy Southern accents. Well, that explains a lot.
I'd say that girl was in Transformers. I think she's been in other things too. Like there was a couple of things listed on Wikipedia that just weren't things I'd seen, but
Okay.
like I think she actually survived this movie.
I'm glad I did.
I mean,
I'm glad I survived this movie.
twist, you're dead.
Oh.
You've been dead this whole time,
Really?
and you'll be watching this movie for all
Am I
eternity.
going to turn into Man Thing? Am I Silas?
No, you're going to be watching this movie for all of eternity. I just explained this to you.
No, is that what happens when you drink too much, Surge?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what happens at the end of Lost.
Or is it? Oh, you know what? That's what happens when you drink too much Mountain Dew Pitch Black. If you drink Mountain
You have
Dew,
to watch you Man Thing here?
You have to review Spawn, but if you drink too much Mountain Dew Pitch Black, you end up having to do Man Thing here.
That can secretly turn out to be fun. I don't know. Man Thing comics.
Thing. Well, anyway, this was an odd experience.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot for watching it with us.
I hope
If
you
you
enjoyed
made it
this.
this far, yeah. I had nothing through most.
After
of this movie.
Electro, we were like, well, at least the bad one's done. One of these had to be the worst one, and that was clearly Electra.
Well,
We had the two bad ones back to back.
in our defense, we had no idea what this was going to be like.
Yeah.
And
I wish it was sillier so that we could laugh at it.
Well, if I had known how silly and over the top it was going to get by the end, it would have been a little bit easier to kind of wade through it, if you will.
Would it have been easier?
Maybe. I'm just saying. I think having seen this once before.
Yeah.
And that might be true with most things, but I mean, like, I haven't had that with the Sharknado movies. Those have been real easy to watch and talk about,
right?
And or riff on and stuff. This was a real slog, but I kind of liked what Man Thing looked like by the end.
Yeah, he looked all right.
That was kind of fun. Well, anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it, and we will see you again tomorrow, finally for Fantastic Four. In the meantime, I am Captain Logan,
And I'm Eric.
and thanks for watching.